Welcome to Abundant Youniverse, your go-to podcast for becoming your most empowered, powerful, abundant, truest, and highest possible self through self-mastery, quantum healing, spiritual activation, soul expansion, and ascension. Here we talk about your self-concept, subconscious beliefs, science, spirituality, mindful manifestation, magic, mysticism, remembering and embodying who you really are, and all things esoteric. I'm your friendly neighborhood self-mastery and mindful manifestation mentor, energy alchemist, quantum healer, spiritual ascension activator, and host Elle Brandlin. And today we're talking about the one thing that's holding you back from actually seeing results in your 3D reality, even though you are literally doing all the things. So stay tuned until the end if you want to know how to actually get your shit, because you deserve it. And please be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening to this so you never miss an episode. And without further ado, let's dive in. Your consciousness is literally the most powerful thing on this planet. Don't believe me? Then hang out and allow me to explain, because you will by the end of this episode. You are way more powerful than you think you are, and I really want you to start giving yourself credit for that so you can start manifesting everything you want as quickly and effortlessly as possible. You have an entire universe trying to give you all that you desire all the time, and you're using every single method you can get your hands on to make that happen, but nothing is happening yet. You may be wondering why that is if you're so fucking powerful, but that's precisely why it's happening, because you're so fucking powerful. Like I said, your consciousness is the most powerful thing on this planet. Ask your government and all the corporations in the world why they keep you consciously believing that you can't have and be everything that you desire if that's not the case. They're literally using our collective consciousness to create a reality that benefits them and not us. And they have been since they figured out they could do it and how to do it. But that's not what this episode is about. This is about how you can take your power back and use your own consciousness to create a life that looks and feels like magic. So if you're doing everything you can think of to manifest your desires and it's still not working, you and your super powerful consciousness are what's stopping you. So ask yourself, how much do I actually believe it's possible for me to have what I want? How deserving and worthy of my desires do I feel? You can use all the methods on the planet, but if deep down you don't actually believe they're going to work for you, they won't. Similarly, if you're doing all the things, but then looking around your 3D reality, noticing that you don't have the things you want yet, and allowing yourself to get triggered by it anytime you're not using these methods, you're consciously creating more of what you don't want. Like I said, your consciousness is the most powerful thing on this planet, and what you're dominantly focusing it on is what you're creating in your reality, period. So let's take subliminals, for example. Say you're using subliminals to reprogram your subconscious mind 2 or 3 times a day, but you don't actually believe they're going to work for you. And the rest of the time, you're looking around going, see, nothing is changing. This isn't working. Guess what you're creating? And the reason we're using subliminals as an example here is because they work 100% of the time for 100% of people. Again, Ask your government, corporations, and the media why they use subliminal messaging to stoke your existing false limiting beliefs and install new ones if they don't work. This is one of the key ways governments control their citizens and corporations keep making money off of you. But we'll do a whole episode on this because it deserves its own show. So, how come they work when they're embedded in media and not when you're purposely using them to reprogram yourself? Simple. When you're the one using them on purpose, playing them to specifically reprogram your subconscious mind, your conscious mind knows about it and can combat them by continuing to tell the story that they don't work. But when they're embedded in media, you may realize that it happens, but you don't know exactly when it's happening or what they're saying or any of that. So they're bypassing your conscious mind and slipping right into your subconscious. Does that make sense? So whether you don't believe you can have what you want, you don't believe you deserve it, you don't believe the methods you're using are working, or you're looking around and using what you see in your physical reality as proof that it's not working, what's the common denominator here? Your consciousness. You are placing most of your consciousness, the most powerful force on earth, on what you don't want, one way or the other, and that is what you continue to get until you start placing it on what you do want most of the time instead. So what's the solution? The solution is and always will be to work on your beliefs because they are what is creating your reality. But what if you've been working on your beliefs and it's still not changing anything? Then the question becomes, what beliefs are you targeting? Do you have a deep-seated belief that no matter what you do, what method you choose, it's not going to work for you? If that's the case, you need to rewrite and reprogram that belief, right? That's the thread that you need to pull to unravel everything and make it so that the methods you're using do work for you. And if the problem is that you're allowing your 3D circumstances to prove to you that what you're doing isn't working, for the love of fuck, stop doing that shit now. You're creating a really horrible self-fulfilling prophecy. Remember that your circumstances don't matter because they shift as soon as you shift your inner state of being, and you do that by changing your belief system. Also, remember that there are infinite timelines in the quantum field with infinite versions of you, and on some of them, you are experiencing everything you desire right now. The only difference between you and those other versions of you is the frequency at which they vibrate and you vibrate based on internal states of being. That's what is meant by aligning with your manifestations or the timeline that you prefer to be on. And that is also why persistence is key. Don't like the reality that you're currently seeing around you? That's okay. It's only one possibility out of infinite timelines you have access to. So stop allowing it to trigger you. Take your power back and decide to shift into the reality that you prefer. But the catch is, you have to first believe that there are infinite timelines with infinite possible realities, and then you have to believe in your own power to shift into them. And we just established that your consciousness is the most powerful thing on the planet, right? So use your free will to place your consciousness on the timeline you prefer and persist in it long enough to collapse it into reality or shift into it, however you want to look at it. And there's a whole episode on the actual science of shifting timelines that you can check out if you need help with your belief in that. And if you need help identifying the exact limiting beliefs that are holding you back, dismantling them so they no longer hold power over you or your reality, and rewriting them so they empower you to consciously create your optimal reality quickly and effortlessly for the rest of your life, you can check out my free Belief Breakthrough Workbook in the show notes. I'd also love for you to join my brand new Divinely Inspired I Have Everything I Want challenge in March if you would like to learn the one simple technique that you need to manifest multiple desires at once and get 31 days of guidance for about the price of a coffee. And you can find a link to more details on that in the show notes as well. Or if you want even more guidance and support than that, there's information and links on how you can actually work with me in the show notes too. And remember, you deserve your inherently worthy heart's desires, and I believe in you, so you should too. Much love.